Welcome to Stingray Tom's Florida. The truly observant of you will notice that I'm not where I usually am in my film studio. The reason is that I thought I'd give people a better look at the wall of tchotchkes that makes up my video background. Now, the main reason I appear in most of my videos sitting in front of all this stuff is to make sure viewers know that my videos are made by a real person, not some stupid AI thing. This video is mostly about the things you see right now. I realize that few people watch videos like this, but I think they're important for some. I've gotten questions about the objects in these cabinets, so I thought this might help. In addition, this is my 200th video, and I'm nearing the channel's 5th anniversary in mid-December. Some people feel it's good to comment on such milestones, and at the very least I can say I've covered subjects in the way I've wanted to. When I began Stingray Tom's Florida, my hope was to create videos that explored the history of Florida honestly and without much bias. Bias is inevitable, but the goal of the historian is to investigate and report on history as openly and as fairly as possible. Now, I don't know if this is surprising, but I rarely ever watch videos on Florida history. Far too often, the presenter has simply not checked if what they're saying is factually correct. This is too often the case. People think they know the real story of something and share it, feeling assured that they're correct. I know I've had beliefs that I've learned in one way or another that are not remotely right, and all it takes is some basic research to prove it. I recently saw a video of a speaker who was presenting history at a local historical museum. Within a few minutes of the start of their presentation, the speaker spoke about two subjects in which they were factually incorrect. I didn't continue watching the video because it was obvious to me that I wouldn't be able to trust anything else that they said. Both of the subjects in question are easily researched, and so the speaker had little excuse. It's a shame that both the audience in the museum and anyone who watches the video are getting bad information. I don't want to name the video or the speaker, but to give you an example, they mentioned the old wrecker industry in the Keys and said it was based on luring captains to run their ships aground so wreckers could then claim the contents. If you don't know what the wrecker industry was, it was people who would salvage the contents of shipwrecks. In most countries, wreckers would be able to claim all or much of the ship's contents as a way to pay for the salvage process and to make a living. There's a notion that wreckers all over the world, including those in the Florida Keys, intentionally lured ships to wreck, clearly an illegal act. The thing is that the facts don't support that assertion in any way. This is one of the more common misconceptions in Florida history. Historians who have studied the subject find that there is no credible evidence for the illegal behavior. There's a number of reasons for that. The first reason is that wreckers were supposed to have lights on the shore to lure the captains towards their lights. Ironically enough, any skilled sailor would know that if you see a light when you're at sea, it almost certainly means that the ship should stay away. Think about it. That's exactly the reason for lighthouses. They warn ships that they are close to land, be it an island, the mainland, or an offshore reef that is too shallow to cross over. Another way we know that wreckers didn't lure ships is that there were hundreds of court cases involving wrecked ships in Key West, mostly to decide to whom a wrecked ship's contents belonged. A look at those cases show that in no circumstance did a captain or ship owner ever claim that they were lured to run aground, and no wrecker ever found themselves in trouble for doing it. So yes, while many people will assert otherwise, the facts fail to prove it. The Florida Keys were and still remain a dangerous place for ships to travel in, but all wrecks have been caused either by natural circumstances such as storms and fog, mechanical breakdown, or pilot error. So let me get back to the wall of Tchotchkes. I hope you can see that there's a fair variety of objects. Sure, many are Florida related, though plenty aren't. It represents various parts of my life from childhood to recent events. There's no way I'll be able to explain the objects in one video, and frankly I don't really wish to. Some people have suggested that I pull out some objects and talk about them. The problem is that there is not much to directly say about each of them. I've used some in other videos, but that's really all they are, springboards for a discussion of history. Now, some people think that I put together these cabinets specifically for these introductions, but in reality, all these things would be there if I never shot a video. I know that because the large cabinets have looked this way since before I got the idea to even have a YouTube channel. The reality is that this is a found background, not a manufactured one. It's there so you don't have to look only at me. The objects fall into a number of basic categories. There's Florida tourism items such as the McKee Jungle Garden and Shark Encounter pennants, the Silver Springs bamboo plate, and a few random Disney items. There's also Florida animal objects like white-tailed deer antler, queen and horse conch shells, barnacles, and a Tarpon Springs sponge. I've got rocks and minerals, and many of them are Florida related as well. Without me sitting in the video, you can better see a number of different coquina rock samples from the Atlantic coast of the state, as well as limestone from Windley Key in the Keys, fossilized coral, and agatized coral. Non-Florida minerals include selenite, sulfur, green calcite, blue stilbite, golden tiger's eye, grape agate, obsidian, muscovite mica, and even lava sand from Hawaii and Iceland. As a result of my love of animals, I've got a shark, a couple octopus, polar bear, a number of black cats, a giraffe, and of course stingrays, along with mermaids, pirates, plus Gumby and Pokey, Eeyore, Tinkerbell, Jack Skellington, and Sally. Those last ones also connect with my favorite holiday and a number of skulls, decorated coffins, and jack-o'-lanterns. Off to the side are parts of other collections, items from the Disney movie The Black Hole, plus historic items of the old Thomas Cook Travel Company. That English company was created in the 1840s and invented the concept of the package tour, arguably initiating the start of modern vacations. Obviously, that connects with my interest in tourism, but Thomas Cook is also my name, so it seems inevitable that I collected the subject. My Thomas Cook items include a ticket to Jacksonville dated 1886, one of the earliest items in the archive. So getting back to the channel, I hope that it would continue to grow and become successful. I don't know why I find it hard to talk about, but I'd like this channel and everything connected with it to generate a decent income. History professors expect to earn a good living, as do those in museums and those who write books. I love that YouTube is essentially a free medium, as I want my work to be available to everyone. But that being said, I don't know if my channel is doing well or not. There's no reliable benchmarks to compare. Mostly what I hear from YouTube is regular urgings for me to make videos that would be popular. Anyway, after 5 years, I can see that my videos have gotten 250,000 views with 30,000 hours of watch time. I'm happy about that. I also have many more topics I can and will cover. Really, the problem is that I seem to always have a bunch of video subjects that are calling for my attention. The real struggle is the amount of time I can spend doing the research, writing, and video making. For those of you who are subscribers and Patreon members, thank you so much for your support. I promise to keep making videos. I've certainly not grown bored, and Florida history, especially that of tourism history, deserves many more documentaries. I suppose if you have any questions about any of the tchotchkes, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. What do you think is the most interesting object? Some of these items are part of the Florida archive I talk about regularly, though the vast majority of those items are documents, brochures, maps, books, booklets, internal documents, press releases, photos, and slides. These are items that provide information about the history of Florida. That's why I have a very few things such as the McKee banner, although that's a treasured possession since it was a gift from a high school friend. Obviously, the rocks and minerals, shells, and other animal parts provide information too, but the rest are more just for fun. Still, hopefully people enjoy looking at them in the videos. Thank you for watching another of my videos. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Both of those help the channel grow. Also, check out my Patreon site if you're interested in supporting my work with cold hard cash. I'd really appreciate it. Stingray Tom's Florida, traveling through time around the Sunshine State.